Hi everyone, it's Matt. Welcome to Collaboration Coach. In this video, I'm going to show you how to share a channel with an external person or someone outside of your organization. First of all, I'm going to show you how it's done. And after that, I'm going to show you how to set it up. Now the setting up part is for admins only because you need access to the admin tools to actually make the changes. I hope it helps. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to share your channel with someone outside of the organization, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like from that person's point of view. I'm here in Teams, I'm in my finance team, and I'm going to share my Project A channel. So this is a shared channel, and I'm going to share it with someone outside of my organization. I just right click and choose Share Channel, and then choose With People. It's just one person I'm going to share with. Now I need to type the full email address of the person I want to share with. It should resolve that name, so it should show you the full name with a suffix of external, and you can choose it. And then you press share, and then adds them as a member. You should see member here. Now to see if that person's actually been added, you can go to manage channel, so press the ellipsis to the right of the channel name, manage channel, and you should see in the members list the external person. In this case, it's Matt Monzo, and I can remove him from here if I want to as well. Now let's switch to his point of view and see what he sees inside of Teams. So here I am logged in as Matt, and he's received a notification in his activity feed saying he's been added to a channel. When he presses on that, it's going to take him directly to it. You can see here's Project A external, and I've got my posts and my files. So I can access it there, but I can also access it if I go to the Teams app on the left-hand rail here. You can see I've got the finance team and I've got the Project A channel called external. I don't see any of the other channels obviously because I don't have access, but it does add a new team with this Project A channel. But I just want to talk a bit about what's going on under the covers. Now in this example, I've got two tenants, tenant 1 and 2. And they want to share channels with each other so they can collaborate together. Now, tenant 1, for example, could be you, and tenant 2 could be your customer. Now, in order to share channels, they need to set up a trust between them. The trust in this case is called a B2B direct connect. So the trust establishes the ability to share the channels. And now that is configured in 2 steps and must be done on both sides, so at tenant 1 and tenant 2. The 2 steps are, first of all, the Teams admin. So this is where you switch on all the channel features in Teams for your organization. The next step is the Azure admin configuration, which is where you actually configure the trust so the 2 tenants can talk to each other. In the next section, I'll go through how to set that up. Okay, to set this up, there is a really good article on docs.microsoft.com that I'll share the link to in the description. But it just explains everything that you as an administrator needs to do to get this set up. There's a Teams step and then an Azure step. And the Teams step just allows shared channels in Teams. And then the Azure step is to set up the business-to-business direct connect. First, set up the shared channels access. If I go to the Teams Admin Center at admin.teams.microsoft.com, just need to go to the Teams section here and expand that and go to Teams policies. Now you need to change the policy. There'll be the global one, or you may have others. I've just got the global one here. Once I open that up, this panel on the right shows me these 3 options here. So you need to toggle on create shared channels, invite external users, and join external shared channels. So make sure they're all on and that you've applied that. So that's step 1 of Teams. The second part is to enable meeting access as well. So if you want your shared channels to have meetings and people to join those meetings, you need to make sure that external access in the users section in Teams admin is also allowed. Under this section here where it says Teams and Skype for business users in external organizations, make sure that you haven't got anything blocked there. If the tenant that you want to allow to have shared channels or share shared channels with you is blocked, then they won't be able to attend meetings. So just check that too. So that's all you need to do in the Teams Admin Center. The second part is done in Azure, and this is where you set up the business-to-business direct connection. This needs to happen at both ends. So you configure it for your tenant, and then the person you're sharing with also needs to configure it at their end. So they need to do exactly the same thing for their tenant. So let me show you what you have to do. First of all, go to portal.azure.com and go to Manage Azure Active Directory. Hit View, and then we're going to go to External Identities on the left-hand side, and then we're going to choose this one, Cross-Tenant Access Settings. Now, to get this started, you need to add an organization for the tenant that you want to share with, and you're going to have to add one of these for each of the different tenants you want to share with. So it's very restricted, very locked down. To do that, you just hit Add an Organization, and then the right-hand side over here, you need to type in the tenant ID or the domain name. So the domain name is probably the easiest one. If you know the email address of the people that you want to share with, for example, collaboration.coach, you can drop that in and it will actually resolve the name of the tenant and the tenant ID below. So you know that you've got the email address right. Now, once you've got that, you can just press Add, and it's going to add the organization to this list here. Now, you've got two things you need to configure for every tenant that you add here. One is inbound access and the other is outbound access. So you can imagine what they are. One allows traffic in, the other allows traffic out. And you basically need to configure them in exactly the same way. You click on this link here, it will open up this page called Inbound Access Settings. You need to go to the B2B Direct Connect tab here. And then down here, you switch from the default settings to the customized settings. Then the access status needs to be allow access. And then the applies to is all external users and groups. Because this is an E3 tenant I'm demonstrating this from, I have the option to select the different users and groups. So I can get more specific if I want to. If you're on a business subscription, you won't see this. You'll just have all. It's all or nothing with business, but with enterprise, you can be more specific. So I can add selected external users and groups, but for now, I'm just going to add the all external users and groups. I also have to go to the Applications tab. This is me telling which applications are going to be allowed to be used in this way. And again, we've got the opportunity to allow or block access, and we want to allow access. And then we can choose which applications. Now again, with business, it's restricted. I think you can only use Office 365, but with enterprise subscriptions, you can choose which apps. So I've added the Office 365 app by just going Select Applications, Microsoft, search for the application you want, and then select it. And then it's added here. Then you just need to save that, and that's the inbound access settings set up and ready. Now we need to go back to external identities, and we need to configure the outbound access. We do this in exactly the same way. We go to B2B Direct Connect, we choose Customize Settings, Allow Access, and I've chosen to do all Collaboration Coach users. And again, this is restricted if you're on a business subscription. I've chosen all Collaboration Coach users. So basically that means anyone can use this. I do the same for external applications. So I allow access. I've also done select external applications. I've chosen Office 365, but you can be more specific if you want to. Then you just save that, and that's all you need to do. Obviously, this is not going to work until the tenant you want to share with has also done this on their side. So you'll have to coordinate with whoever it is that you want to share with. Now, to test it, all you need to do is just make sure that you can share the channel and pick out someone from the other tenant. So for example, if I was to go to my shared channel, choose shared channel and with people, and then type the full email address of the person I want to share with, notice that if I type an email address with a domain that hasn't already been set up, I'll see this. We didn't find any matches. That's what you're going to see until you know it's working. When it is working, you'll see this. It will validate or look up the account and put external as a suffix. So that's how you know it's working. Okay, so that is how you share your channels externally with people outside of your organization, and how you set it up in Teams by switching on all the shared channel options, and configure the B2B Direct Connect in Azure Portal. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.